watching them do those lifts and push-ups.
Pretty much anything in fast forward is great.
Oh, it was awesome. I watched it like 10 times.
She's starting the live stream, so no naked old guys. So I think we're live, and as soon as I get the channel, I will post that for you guys to share. But welcome to everybody for the Black Hollow Shared World panel.
Hey, everybody.
Go ahead. You can talk.
Hi.
Jess, can you send me the link? Because I can't. Okay, there we go. I got the link, so I'm going to send that to you guys, everybody, really quick in the chat once I figure out. There it is. Right. If you guys want to share this is the Black Hollow panel. So we are live. I'm going to let you guys all introduce yourselves, and we'll come back around and say hi. So Cassidy, you're the first on my screen, so I'm going to let you go first.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Cassidy K. O'Connor, one of the writers in the Black Hollow world, and I am down here in Tampa, Florida.
All right, JC, you're next.
Hey, everyone. I'm JC. I'm one of the writers in Black Hollow as well, and I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
You're next.
Hey, everyone. I'm JC.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why it's there. Sorry, sound was on the other one. I was like, wait a minute, I'm getting confused. What's happening? Gracen, do you want to go next, sweetie?
Sure. I'm Gracen Miller and also one of the authors in the Black Hollow world. I think I'm the one that writes the guest book because everybody gives me the hardest time about it. And I'm from Birmingham, Alabama.
And Robbie?
Hello, everybody. Robbie Cox here. Yeah, I wasn't sure if the mic was working yet or not. So, hello. Welcome to the show.
Mic working, but I couldn't see you at first. I was like, what am I missing? Where can I find him? And Sheri.
Hey, everybody. Sheri Lyn, and I'm also in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, and I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Jennifer Wedmore. I'm moderating with you guys today, and of course, I write in the world with you all. Deborah Brashano, which of course I always butcher her name, so sorry, but she says, "Hey, Sensational Six."
Hey, Deborah.
Hey, Deborah.
I love it.
How are you guys all
I
doing?
knew I would get that nickname to stick if we just tried
That's
really
right.
hard.
Could be a lot worse things we could be called. So
True.
Probably have been. So.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Deborah says she can't see us, but she can hear us. And Dee says the same thing. Yep, nobody can see us. I'm not sure why. Everybody can hear us, though.
But I did my hair.
I know.
My makeup.
Just save us.
Yeah, yeah, Tara, everybody says they can hear but can't see us. Oh, there we are, they said. All of a sudden they can see us again.
Awesome.
Yay, so we're here. Okay, hi, everybody. We've got quite a few people watching us, so.
Awesome. Welcome, everybody.
Hey,
I'll watch you for any messages or questions that come through there. But they said they can all see us now. So the first question that was given to us on our page said, what inspired the Black Hollow towns? So I guess, Cassidy, do you want to?
Sure.
That one?
Sure. So I'll start. So it all started like 2-3 years ago now. I wrote a gargoyle book, and because I was trying to find an unusual creature, and so then I actually ended up falling in love with the gargoyle, and I wanted more. So I went to Sheri and I said, hey, let's create this whole town of just crazy paranormals and stuff, and we'll just take turns writing in it and everything. And I want to have a whole bunch of gargoyles and stuff like that. So we sat down, and Jennifer and our mom Patty and the four of us, and we just started kind of like talking through details and different characters we could have, and and that's when we came up with that the mermaids run the fish and chip shop, cannibalism at its best and everything, and so then we just started like, oh well, why don't we expand and find a few other people that we want to write in the world with us. And I think there's a question about this, so I'll stop there. But basically, I started because I wrote Gargoyle and I really wanted more. So we just decided to come up with a town.
Well, that brings us into the second question that you went into. So I'm going to phrase this so it's for you and for each of the others to respond to. So they asked, how did the six decide to be involved? So my question to you is, how did you decide you wanted to make it a shared world with other authors rather than just you and Sheri, who originally created it? And then how did you pick who to invite? And
yes.
Then come to the rest of you, your question. Go ahead.
Sure. So we'll, Sheri can say kind of how she came about it, but when I was thinking about who to invite, I knew that once we started building the town and seeing how much work it was going to be to keep the characters coordinated, and because you all know that if you've read the book, we use a lot of the characters over and over again, so you have to really keep those personalities in line and everything. So I knew that we had to keep it small because we did have a lot of people come and ask if they could write the world up, and it would have been too hard because there's just so many characters. So we wanted to keep it small, and for anyone that's an author that's listening, I don't have to explain it more than how hard it is to work with multiple personalities. So I just really want to be smart about who I chose. I wanted to choose people that I got along with really well and that I knew I could trust. And you have to be somewhat minded. If you have a whole bunch of people with very, very crazy different personalities, it would have been too much. So I just kind of looked around at my circle and thought about who I thought I got along with best, and in personality wise and trust. So that's how I decided. But Sheri?
I basically do whatever Cassidy tells me I have to do.
That is so true. Okay.
I was just giving you guys to say something. I wasn't going to say it, but.
And my question to you, Grace and Robbie and JC, is when they brought the world to you, what do you remember what your first thought was, and what made you interested in joining it? I'll start with you, Robbie.
For me, it was just a fun idea and a great group of authors to work with, so it was a no-brainer.
He says that now. We're not driving him crazy with the chat running constantly, though. JC, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. When they brought it to me, it was just such a cool idea that I'd actually read something that was set in a single town before that had different characters and things like this, and I thought it was just an awesome idea and could be a lot of fun, and it has been.
Very cool. I agree. It's been a lot of fun. Gracen, what about you?
Yeah, I think I was, in the beginning, I think I was just kind of, I know I initially said no, but it was just because I had so much on my plate. But the more I read and the more I saw about the world, the more interested I got. And it just was a unique world, and it wasn't something I had seen a lot of. And it was fun. I mean, the characters were outrageous and they were great, So I think you had only I think Cassidy had only released book 1 at that point when I decided to join in, and I don't regret it. I think this is an amazing adventure, and I love all the stories.
I agree. When Cassidy and Sheri were first discussing it, they had started a list of characters and then their businesses and stuff. And I saw the zombies and I was like, okay, I've written one story and that was the anthology with you guys. You don't know that I can actually, but I want the zombies. Can I please have the zombies? And they're like, sure. So that was, mine was like, as soon as I saw zombies, I was like, I don't care if you didn't actually invite me. I'm inviting myself into this world. I want these characters.
That's exactly what she said. She goes, I don't know if you invited me or not, but I'm coming in.
I knew I wanted those zombies. I knew I wanted to do something different. So I was just like, move over. I'm coming in.
Well, I love the mixture of the characters too. You have the badasses with the sweet, lovable ones, and they all mix so well. So it's just awesome group.
By the way, I love that you're wearing your shirt.
Yeah, finding her. What? Yeah, no.
Find your
Find your
fire.
fire.
Find your fire in a Dracky diamond. Yeah.
That's right.
So the next question that was posted for us was, how do you decide who gets what characters? And I'm going to expand that. How did you each decide what character you wanted to write in the world? So I'll go ahead and let you start, Sheri, this time.
It's pretty much just open. There's a list of characters that are open that are in the world, and people can pick them. And then, of course, everybody creates them, and if they want to either claim them, they claim them. If not, they leave them open for anybody to take. But basically, if it's a character that's in the world and I think I can do something fun with his story, then I'm going to take that person.
And how did you choose to, your first story, do the Mummy? I'm horrible.
Because I thought it would... Cade, I thought it would be fun to do a mummy that was a clothing designer because he had such an extensive knowledge of fabric.
Fitting. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, JC, how did you choose your character, and tell us about one of them?
The first character that I chose was a necromancer, and I chose it basically because it's a different sort of paranormal character that you don't normally see, but I wanted to put a spin on it to make the necromancer likable. So I thought that would be fun.
Okay. And your newest release, what character was that?
A Cupid who has lost his way, basically. So he finds his way back, but it's a little adventure to get there. So.
And her Cupid lore was amazing and inspiring, and I'm dying.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved it. My husband's reading it right now, and he's loving it.
Yay!
That's awesome. Robbie, what was your first character, and what made you choose that particular character, or your most recent, whichever you want, or both? Give us as much as you want.
The first book I wrote with leprechauns, and mainly I just wanted to do something with short people, and it was just fun, magic and the size that they can do different things with. After that, last October, I did the folklore of the jack-o'-lantern, with Jackson Lantern, who was stuck between heaven and hell and walking the earth. It was just a fun Halloween story. Releasing 2 days ago was my third, and that one I did a Corrigan, which is a dwarf-like spirit. I always like to go back and find different folklore things and mythology to pull into it. And I did clowns just to irritate Sheri, and a Phantom Circus. So it was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun to read that one. Jerk.
Flo says that short people approve, Robbie.
Tell them, girl.
But short girls don't get any love.
Right. And Gracen, you want to tell us about your characters? What you chose them?
Well, my first book wasn't really an out of the world there type of character, but I had always wanted to write dragon shifters. And since the town is created around such sweet, nice people, I felt like they needed some protectors. So I gave the dragons and the siren that came in to kill the dragon a little bit of more edginess so that they could be like the protectors, because I felt like nice people like this needed somebody that was going to protect them. And then in the new book that I released in February, King was actually brought over from my Road to Hell series, and he's a king of hell. And then I had a unicorn shifter, which I just love unicorns. So, and I've not seen many books with unicorns.
That's true. I think I know of like one or two I've read over all the years. So,
and I think why we work together so well is that, like what my last book that I did, the Mormo, I wanted her to interact with some vampires, but none of us had written vampires yet, and I knew that I probably wasn't going to. So I just messaged the group and I was like, "Hey, does anyone think that they might want to use a vampire in the future? If so, can you come up with a name and a description now so that we can kind of build the character?" So we kind of do that in general too. We'll make up characters for the town that nobody's quite claimed yet, but that we can have out there for when they want to. So I think that's kind of been a good way of doing it as well.
Yeah, we work well together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for the most part, I think sometimes we're behind the scenes grinding our teeth and just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill them. But for the most part, I think it's a lot of fun. It's always when you get...
You got
That's a
three
normal
very
family.
alpha people here.
Well, that's a normal family too.
Yeah.
Gracie, Sheri, and Jennifer.
Oh yeah, we're the three alphas. I think everybody that knows me know where I fall in that category.
I think like one of the first things you said on the chat was you did whatever Cassidy said.
That's true.
It's a pretty dead giveaway on that one. I just saw something I wanted to read to you, and I lost it. Oh, Deborah said that she had to look up Corrigan because she had never heard of what they were before.
Yeah.
And
that was fun.
no,
I don't think any of us had heard of it before Robbie wrote it.
no.
No.
Yeah, so he really dug
I
that
love
one
that he
up. That
comes
was a
up with
good
some
one.
really weird stuff.
Yeah, that was a good one.
To be honest, Robbie, I think your ideas are always so out of the box in the world. I loved the leprechauns. I love the jack-o'-lantern, and now that I love that you do pick those odd things and bring them for the world. And I think it makes the whole town in the world, bigger and better for it. But
If he just hadn't put in clowns, I would have been great.
Oh, right.
I loved that book. I loved that he was a clown.
Well, they're not staying, so you're safe. They're not staying.
Or are they? Just don't look under your bed.
Really? Really?
I think that was the fun part. The fun part about Black Hollow is it's an all paranormal thing, and there's so much out there that we can find that not everybody else is doing.
Right.
That makes it a little bit more fresh compared to other worlds.
And I also like that it can be very tongue in cheek, like with the mermaids owning the fish and chips, to the Gracen with her assassin. You know what I mean? The world is so diverse with the levels of depth of evilness and friendliness, or you know what I mean? There's just so much that we can do with the world. I think it lends a lot to each of us to do what we want.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
So, Deborah wants to know if there will be more books next year, and she knows that we have a schedule planned out for the rest of the year. So, without going into any news yet, does anybody have any plans of ending this in 2021? As far as I know, we're going strong, right?
Yep.
No, I have no plans.
Me either.
Yeah, we have.
I already have my next couple books planned.
Yeah, we're mapped out.
Yeah.
We're scheduled out through 21, like who writes in which month. And then I actually was just looking at the schedule the other day, and I figured probably in like August we needed to start looking out further, because I know a lot of us try to plan far ahead. So I don't think any of us plan to go anywhere. You're stuck with us and our monthly releases.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we mean that to you too, Robbie. You're stuck with us forever.
I hear you.
We're like fungus.
Ew.
Can't get rid of us.
We are freaking cute fungus though, right?
Right, we are.
So what's that
I didn't
next
hear Robbie
question?
agreeing or not.
Actually, a comment that I want to read for you, Robbie.
What was the next question? What was that?
Flo says, I cursed Robbie a lot reading at work. I kept bursting into tears, and my coworkers thought I was nuts. That's awesome.
This last
Good
book.
job.
This last book was pretty good because I did let people die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw it. That
I was
good.
pissed. I was like, no, you bastard!
It was good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love how he smiled and said that so gleefully.
Yeah. And he laughed.
The George R. syndrome.
For anybody watching, if you have any questions, feel free to type them up on the video, and I will make sure to read them off. Deborah said you made her mad too, Robbie and Sheri. Flo said you're a sadist. Donna Antonia would like to know if the Sandman's going to get a partner and if anybody had thought about writing him. Cassidy,
We've-
go ahead and started to answer this, and I had to yell at her for this one.
It's hard to not answer questions when I see them. That was very painful to sit here for the last week and not answer questions that I saw posted. But I don't know about everyone else, but I know we've kind of talked about it once or twice. And we wrote him as this like old decrepit man who walks really slow and everything. And so when I think about a sex scene with him, I just like, bleh. But there's 6 of us. Maybe somebody wants to write that, love. I don't know if anyone else has thought about it.
I haven't. I've got a couple others mapped out, ready to go after my October launch, and so I haven't even thought about the Sandman.
I can guarantee you, I do not think about sex with old men, so that has not come up in my thing.
I think Donna had a good idea though, didn't she? A dream walker or something, right? Is what she had suggested.
Yeah,
Yep.
she did.
She said old people need love too.
Yeah, that's true.
They do.
And we have discussed bringing in diversity, so different ages would work in that too.
Yeah.
Are you
Actually, you come up
volunteering?
with a
Tim?
whole good story.
Robbie, you're
This would be
freezing.
neat if you had the Sandman Dreamwalker and the Dreamwalker and him only got together in their dreams.
Oh,
That would be
Oh,
cool.
that's good.
yeah.
I think Robbie just claimed it. He's gonna do the
Yeah.
old man sex now.
I think so too.
Old
He
wrinkly
is
balls.
thinking about sex with old men.
Yeah, think about those old wrinkly balls there, Robbie. Channel it.
D Hart said, "Oh, come on, the Sandman needs love. Maybe it could make him younger."
Oh, that's
So love reverses it. Interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. Yeah.
And Deborah has a question. Who has been trying to kill the humans in town? We never did hear if they've caught them yet.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
We were
awesome.
actually just talking about that the other day.
There's
Mhm.
going to be a very big climax in the July book. And who's writing the July book?
I am.
Yep. Don't you worry. It is coming to a head in July.
Yep, I haven't figured out how yet, but I promise it will be.
My question is, does anybody have an idea who the bad guy is?
Oh,
They figured it out.
I know one reader once suggested who they thought it was. and they
Really?
were yeah, but I don't think anyone else has. So yeah, Jennifer, let us know if anyone comments with who they think it is.
I
You
will.
guys, you have all met this person in one of the books.
At least one.
Right. I don't think this person's been in every one, but pretty much all of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let us know if you have till July to figure it out, and if you don't, then I don't know. You're not allowed to read anymore or something.
One question that we are at, what are the 6 up to outside of Black Hollow? So we're going to start with you, Robbie. What are you doing outside of Black Hollow?
Too much. I'm also part of another world called Dark Moon Falls that releases our next box set May 5th. I am also spinning off my Warrior of the Waste series with Just the Witches called The Cauldron Coven. My next Black Hollow book, we are looking at dealing with PTSD and a little heavier subject in that area. And then we are also starting continuing more of the Destined Mates and the Bull Creek world with the 10th Coven, which will keep us in Draven Falls. We just got a lot going.
Sounds like it. You're going to be busy. I'm excited.
Mhm.
That's awesome. JC, what have you been working on outside of Black Hollow?
Trying to figure out for sure what I want to do with the December book in Black Hollow. But I am in the process of attempting to write a paranormal cozy mystery. So
Cool.
that's a try. So we'll see what happens.
The cozy mystery covers are like some of my favorite. I don't know why. I just find them so cute.
They are cute. Yeah. I hope the book will match the cover.
Nice. What about you, Gracen?
Well, you and I are going to work on a serial killer book together. It's called Forgiven.
Yes.
And then I am working on the DAM series, which is about a covert Black Ops government program that is responsible for killing paranormal creatures. If you read Hex or Codename Nina, it's in that series. And then I've got some hot fire books, like Tab's book. I'm working on it at the moment also.
Yeah. Okay. Sheri, what are you working on?
Well, I have my next Black Hollows coming out in May, but separate in that I was supposed to have a new book coming out the end of this month, but that con got canceled, so I kind of pushed it back. That's a whole new series called Pinky Promise. And then I'm looking at Safe Haven for July. Is it 5th? Oasis? I'm looking at that. And then for those that keep asking, Deity Dating is coming in September.
And did we hear there might be a new person coming into Deity Dating?
Yes, there might be now.
Woo-hoo!
But that not in the next one. So it might be the 4th one.
I know some people out there are going to be really excited to hear that news.
Yeah, I keep getting messages. Your 30 days are up. It's only been about 4 months since then, but that's okay.
I think your readers are kind of used to that. Cassidy, what about you?
Well, my next 48 hours are going to be busy with my nephew, Jennifer's son. Is turning 17 tomorrow, and he's making me make this cake. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's from the Tiger King, whatever. Yeah, it's ridiculous cake. So I got to do that the next 48. I just wanted to show you guys because it's so ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, so let's see. So yeah, I've got the June Black Hollow is mine, and then I have a Paranormal Academy series coming out where basically the NSA has this academy for the teenagers and stuff. And so the first 4 books are going to be in the academy, and then that group will graduate and they'll actually join the NSA, and it'll go into a paranormal unit for the NSA. So it'll be 2 different series launching. So I've been working on those. If you're in my reader group, you already saw the first one, the Greylock Academy cover. So I've got the first 2 covers done and everything. Those were supposed to launch at Space Coast, which did get postponed. So I think I'm still going to go ahead with them at the end of May, June, but I haven't decided yet. So.
I guess I can tell you what I'm working on. I am plotting my next Black Hollow, which comes out in July, which we mentioned. I switched gears this week because I was kind of stagnant on the paranormal romance right now. I didn't want to do it. So I'm working on probably going to end up being a little bit more horror and less thriller. But either way, I'm really, really excited about this one. My word count's only 9,000 though. So I'm writing notes where I can expand it because I'm just enjoying torturing these people in this one. I can't wait to do the Forgiven with Gracen. That one's going to be a lot of fun too.
We're going to have so much fun torturing people.
Oh, yeah. And then we can jump around and do the Sweet and Cozy and Black Hollow again.
Yeah.
Robbie, Flo said, she said, Robbie is trying to hide from the intruders and get the minion in trouble.
Every day. Every day.
I tell you, your posts every day, I look forward to them. They make me laugh every day. Never fails what's going on. I love it.
I hunt them down.
It's been fun. It's been fun to do it, to make fun of it. It's amazing how many things just pop up. I keep thinking I don't have anything else to write, and I swear that day something.
Yeah. Yes. Somebody asked where the reading order can be found. And of course, again, Cassidy jumped ahead and answered this on the post, but we're going to answer it here. So Cassidy, where can that be found?
Let me make sound so I'm on camera before I do this too. Ready? All right. So it was totally, I couldn't help it I can't let questions just sit there and not be answered. I needed to be helpful. If you go to blackhollowtown.com, I update the website. The home page has whatever book is coming next. So if you go out there right now, Robbie's cover is at the top. And if you scroll right below that, it has the reading order. And then if you go to the past releases tab, also I have every single book there with the picture and like the title, and you can click just to go straight to Amazon to buy it from there, but that's in the same reading order. And then I think most of us also have them in the back of every single book too. I know I keep them in publication order in the back of the books. But yeah, the blackhollowtown.com is the easiest place to find it at.
I think they're in the back of my book, but you're my formatter. So if you do it, then they're there. If you don't do it, they're not. I don't know.
I know you, Sheri, and I do, because I do your formats.
I was gonna say you do them, so yeah.
Yeah.
See, controlling.
Yep.
Oh, I'm just lazy. I'm going to learn it myself.
You're welcome to try to do it.
Okay. So I have a question for you all. What is one character that you haven't written and don't currently plan to, but would love to see brought into Black Hollow? So I'm going to start with, well, if anybody has an answer, I'll let you go first. Otherwise, I'm going to call on one of you. I know I threw you on the spot, so you're all like, shit, what am I going to say?
Yeah, I feel like I've thought of everybody that I want to write. Someone else? Anybody got an
Yeah. I can't think of anything. I mean,
I know I'm finishing up my book for next month. I'm actually on the very last chapter of it, and I've set it up for the character for the next book for, I forget whenever my next month is. I know a type of character I want in that he's a certain personality, but I don't know what that character is yet. Does that count? He's somebody in town. I just have to figure out who he is, or somebody I'm going to bring in. I just don't know who he is yet. Does that make sense at all?
Since JC wrote the Cupids, I'm just obsessed, and I desperately want to finish out my gargoyles and go with a Cupid. I messaged her immediately. I'm like, oh my God, you have to let me write a Cupid. Your lore is amazing.
And
it was so unique. I will give you.
Yeah, I love it.
I was like, why didn't I think of that? It's awesome.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. I don't know.
I can tell you, it won't be a clown, and that I'm going to do.
No.
I think that's a question for the readers. Is there a character we haven't thought of yet? Which it would be crazy to think and we missed somebody.
Does it help if I want to say I want somebody to write Siraj?
Siraj. Sheri and I have talked quite in depth about him and when he gets his story, if he gets a story, because the problem is he's so amazing. It's going to be pretty hard to find him a perfect mate that we all approve of. I mean, it's like the poor guy, he doesn't exist, yet he has all 6 parents that care about him. And really more than that if you count the readers. So trying to find a mate for him that we're all going to approve of, that's going to be rough.
Might need a harem, so he's got like somebody, everybody picks somebody that's got a personality.
Yeah, it's true. Good idea.
I'll be honest, I kind of see him as a childlike personality mentality, so I'm not sure I could come up with somebody that could be his mate. You know what I mean?
If your little panda doughy shifter guy can get a mate, then Siraj can get one. Or whatever he is. Isn't he a panda?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
He works at the
yeah. My twisted mind would make him the killer.
Oh. I think somebody would cry, Cassidy.
I would cry. Not my Siraj. Not my Siraj.
He's got them all fooled.
Guess you'll find out in July.
You could do a Gulliver's Travelers series and call it Siraj's Travels and have him with a bunch of tiny people.
Robbie is really obsessed with tiny people. I'm starting to wonder.
Cassidy, I remember a time in your childhood that you kind of were too.
D. Hart said a voodoo queen that raises chickens.
Ooh.
I can get on board with that.
Nice.
That's kind of
That
funny.
butcher shop is going to always be trying to raid her chickens.
We got to keep the shifters away.
Gracen, I feel like that's a Gracen character.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could get on board with the voodoo queen.
Yeah, you'd be good at that.
Yeah, I was thinking about a witch doctor.
Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be cool.
Something different, yeah.
Hey, Robbie, the readers are ready to lynch you for suggesting that Siraj be a bad guy. They're not happy at all.
It'd be the ultimate twist.
Yeah, it would be.
That is
It might
for
break
sure.
my heart too.
And someone would throw the book down, and that would be it for the town.
Claude said she thinks Siraj should be an MM book.
Oh, shiitake.
Siraj and Bigfoot.
Oh.
Imagine the hairballs.
They have razors.
He's stopping up the thing that washes cars.
Pet wash.
Oh,
Car wash, yeah.
Actually, that was going to be one of my next question. What event that's happened in Black Hollow has been like one of your favorite? Like reading the pet wash where the wolves, came in and made a mess, and Siraj begged to get it. It was probably one of my favorite.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
Does anybody else have one?
I like the Valentine's Ball when Frankie proposes to King and Hitchcock. I like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was very cool.
there's so many good ones. It's hard.
I like the future one that's in Sheri's story, but I don't know that she wants me to share it. I put a kind of teaser to it in the newsletter.
Yeah, it's funny. It's because Jen has not read my book at all yet.
Yeah.
And she's like, what is that? I'm like, are you kidding me? You have access to the Google Doc and you don't know what it is?
Oh, it was awesome. I loved it. I laughed so much. It's perfect.
Oh, that's going to be some fun.
It is.
Robbie, do you have a favorite event or anything in any of the books or your books?
There's a ton out there that are just a lot of fun and mean different things. The ones that are my favorite are the ones that bring out some type of emotion.
I agree. Yeah. I think it might have been one of Cassidy's first ones in Black Hollow where they did they had to sing at the Seraphine's Mansion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Every book after that, I'm like, please somebody go to the mansion. I want to make you do something in front of the gargoyles. I just really, really do because it's funny.
I liked in my one book too when the dog messed up all the wedding decorations and all the guys got together trying to make everything again so the bride didn't find out, and poor Cupid got stuck doing the cake and it just was like cake fail all over and over again. That had me laughing while I was writing that scene.
I enjoyed in Robbie's book with the jack-o'-lantern, the two bars had the different like little war going on with their signs, right? At least I'm not completely confused.
Yeah. No. In the beginning, according to the Bible, they were two separate entities. So yeah, they didn't allow certain paranormals in. Yeah.
Terry, she says that she loves when the ogres do karaoke.
Yeah.
That's just fun to picture. Big bulky men do YMCA.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And Deborah likes the Christmas one with all the lights.
Wasn't Christmas Grayson's?
No.
Is it bad that we're all stumped for a second?
Yeah, I know. I don't remember either.
I'm like, wait a minute, which?
Small, we're lost. We don't remember. That's really, honestly, the hardest part of this whole world is we have to read each other's books constantly to keep up with everything and try to keep the continuity of all. And we even, like Sheri, Jennifer, and I, we read each other's books as we're writing them. even so that we can try to stay in tune, because like Sheri has the May book and I have the June book, and she's got the brother and I've got the sister, so the characters are very intertwined. So we are reading as we're writing.
To the
So
point where
yeah.
even if when the brother and sister Tristan and Narissa are interacting, Cassidy will come into my story and she'll actually write as Narissa, so we actually have them talking in their real voice.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's why we're all pausing at the Christmas lights, because we all read each other's books so much we have to remember who did what.
Deborah posted, I see that. I got crickets. I gotta tell you,
And nobody's still claiming it.
Gracen messaged me the other day something about Addie, and she's yelling, and I'm like, who am I supposed to be mad at? Who's Addie, right? And she goes, it was your book. It was the bad person. I went, oh, you know how long ago that was? I don't remember her name. I had no idea. I was like, oh yeah, she was that.
It was terrible.
All right, so we have just about 20 minutes left. So is it time for a special announcement? Because I've been so excited.
That's up to y'all if you guys are ready.
Oh, I think we've been teasing the readers long enough. Gracen posted a title the other day teasing what it was to, and when
that was like, that was fun.
I've been sharing this, telling them that if they tuned in, they'd find a special announcement at the end. So I think we've been teasing enough.
And I'm really excited. I want to share this everywhere.
I do too.
Me too.
Well,
All right,
I could start with the pictures. I don't know if it'll come through, and I can't see my camera, so.
Somewhat. It's very blurry.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see on your phone.
Okay, that's best I had. Sorry. So if you haven't guessed already what the news is, we have, like we said earlier, we've had a lot of people ask if they could write in Black Hollow. And like we said, we felt like it was so intertwined, it would be too hard. But we said, why not build another town that we can have guest authors in? So Black Hollow's kind of going on the road. Who wants to describe it? Robbie?
I've been describing that for days.
Go ahead, Robbie.
Crimson, Black Hollow is moving to the west coast in the middle of the redwoods. It's going to be perched between two creeks, Damnation Creek and Redemption Creek, and it's a resort for paranormals. It's going to be brought over and introduced, I believe, by Gracen, and it's got a casino, it's got tree suites, it's got a giant pool, a tiki bar, a jacuzzi, spa, you name it, it's got it, and it's the beach an hour away or so. It's got a nice little town, and the fun part about this, I think we've got over 100 and some odd characters that we've created as background character authors that are coming in and bringing their own characters, but it differs in Black Hollow in the fact all these characters stay in it's a vacation spot, so the characters will be coming in, having their little vacation and meeting whoever they're supposed to be meeting and doing whatever they're supposed to be doing, and then moving on. Only ones who are staying are the side characters, so it'll be just about every release.
Yep. So in October, Gracen's releasing it's her Black Hollow book, but so her character is actually going to go from Black Hollow to Crimson Moon. Seraphine's going as well, I believe, right, Gracen? She's physically going.
Yes.
So, and they're going over to California to help build the resort. So that book called Finding Her Wizard, right?
That's right. Yep.
Finding Her Wizard, that comes out in October, and that's going to be the building block from Black Hollow over to Crimson Moon. But the official launch of the town is November, and it's the same setup that we do now, where of the 6 of us, one of us releases each month. So Robbie is kicking off the very first Crimson Moon books, and the first 5 guest authors have signed on. So Jennifer, do you want to go through that list?
Sure. Carrie Adrian, Leah Davis, Julia Mills, Terry Wilson. Who am I forgetting? I knew I was going to forget somebody.
Muriel Chester. Muriel Chester.
Muriel Chester, yes. Muriel, yes. So those are our 5 releasing with Robbie in November. And then we have quite a few other authors that are signing on with us that are interested, and that'll be coming out after that.
Yep. So the Crimson Moon will release the first Thursday of every month, and then Black Hollow will be the third Thursday of every month. So as readers, you guys have all of these books to choose from. If you know of an author you think would be a good fit, you can definitely send them over. We are still taking more authors. We want to make this a very large shared world where you guys have plenty of different stories to pick from. And like Robbie said, we already designed 100 characters that live at the resort, and they're very crazy personality and everything. So you'll still get that connection like you have with Black Hollow, where the characters will show up in a lot of books, but so it's kind of got that same thing, but it's different, as in the characters are going to keep leaving after vacation too.
And what's fun about the resort is, like Robbie said, we have like almost over 100 characters, and after a while there, we got really creative with what kind of paranormal they were. So you're going to see some odd people and creatures in there.
Yeah.
And personalities.
Yeah, that's
I
where my
think
Virgin
we already
Basilisk
have-
shifter came up.
We
Go ahead,
already
Robbie.
have a reader group on Facebook for it, don't we?
Yes.
Yes, now that the
So-
announcement's been made, I think it's time we can start sharing the fan page. I think a couple of readers have already found it. I think one or two of you did. I think Deborah might have been one of them, who she secretly found it, and but she, there was no
That's
information posted. So yeah, I'm pretty sure she's one. There's like 2 readers who found it, and I just let them stay in there while we were still building it. But yeah,
That's
so they
hysterical.
knew without knowing ahead of time.
And I'll send all the links to Jess, and she can post them in the comments of this thing so people can find it easy too. So, yeah. And Deborah says sorry.
She's
No, that just
good.
means you're a good stalker.
Yeah, exactly. She's good. She found it. I'm telling you, no one else did except for her and like one other person. So it was impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
So we have just about 10 minutes left. Do you guys want to say anything in parting in our last few minutes? Any news you want to share?
I'd just like to thank everybody for sticking with this town and enjoying this town and supporting us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I second that for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. A good reader fan base.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So, okay. So now with the announcement that we'll be having books monthly in Black Hollow and monthly from us in Crimson Moon, how nervous are you guys about adding this onto your schedule? It's going to be...
I'm super nervous because I stay busy outside the house. I mean, inside the house and writing already. So I'm worried about the other series I have taking a back seat and taking too long to get written. But
Robbie,
I'm
you'll-
excited at the same time.
I actually created a whole list to try and keep me on track of when books had to be done, proofread, edited, and read and released, so I can stay on track now.
Yeah.
Well, that's why when you asked what everybody is going to be up to and stuff, I'm like, all of our lives have been Crimson Moon Hideaway for like 6 weeks now. I mean, no joke, because designing a whole resort and 100 characters and everything else, you guys can't imagine how many hours it's taken us. So I feel like that's all I've lived and breathed for the last 6 weeks. So I'm really glad that it's finally going public and we can start working on a lot of different things now that the setup is done. Because bringing in a whole lot of authors meant we needed to have a whole lot of stuff figured out ahead of time. So that was definitely a lot of work. So that's why when you were like, oh, what have you guys been working on? Yeah, that's pretty much been our lives for weeks now.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you guys really quick 1 second. I see we are already getting requests to join the Crimson Moon Hideaway Resort group. So that's funny. And
Very cool.
they want to know why you're hiding in your car.
They want to know what?
Why you're hiding in your car.
Oh, my house is up for sale and we had a last minute showing, so I had to run to the Hobby Lobby parking lot and sit in it to do the interviews.
See, Robbie hasn't figured out that if he wants to hide from the intruders, he just goes into a car. Gracen already figured this out.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, you have the minivan that they'll put the seats down and bring pillows and blankets and just make it a big old fort and have fun. So they'll follow you wherever.
They got the Life 360.
Yeah, track down.
I'm sorry.
Is that your dog?
Yes, they let him in the room and he won't put his damn chew toy down. Oh my God. Stop.
The squeaky. Oh yeah.
So Robbie, I didn't think you got to answer. What are you feeling about having 2 Crimson and 2 Black Hollow in the next year? Is it delayed or is I didn't hear.
No, we heard you. I'm
Okay.
not sure where Robbie went.
Did we lose it?
I didn't
He's
hear you.
so
I
overwhelmed.
lost you
There he
What'd
goes.
you ask?
I said I didn't hear your answer
What
on
did you
it.
say? I didn't hear.
How do you feel about having 2 Crimson Moon and 2 Black Hollow books for next year?
I lost the question. I lost you again. Sorry.
That's all right. On having 2 Crimson Moon Hideaway books and 2 Black Hollow
How do I
books.
feel about doing Black Hollow and Crimson Moon at the same time?
Yes.
I'm fine with. I like writing a lot, so I like the fast pace of different worlds coming out at different times and stuff like that. So as long as I have some ideas, I'm good to go. I don't have to compete with other businesses or stuff like that. Just a bunch of other people in the house, and it's all good. I love it.
Very cool. Yeah, we can just keep
Are the readers crying because they're like, oh my God, now there's more books releasing?
No, they're all excited. I'm reading. You guys have got to go over to the YouTube to read the comments because there's some really good ones in there. I think you all should read. But they're really, really excited.
Yay!
Awesome.
Yay.
We're excited too.
Makes me feel good because now
It'll
we
be
know
a lot
it's
of
worth
fun.
it.
I see it as a mix of Fantasy Island versus a love versus supernatural. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I loved that description. It was perfect.
It was
Mhm.
perfect.
Oh, did we-
That's old enough to remember the Fantasy Island. I mean, they've rebooted everything else. Why not that show?
Did anybody name the 2
Yeah,
creeks?
probably should.
Freaking love
Damnation Creek and Redemption Creek. Yeah, Robbie said it.
Yeah, Robbie
Yeah.
mentioned it.
Damnation Creek and Redemption Creek.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I think it's going to be so much fun. to
Damnation
go.
Creek actually exists.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now we're talking about we need to do a writing retreat out there in the Redwoods, for inspiration. Makes sense.
I'm all for that.
Yeah. And if you guys have been to Disney's Wilderness Lodge down here in Florida, that was a lot of the inspiration of the inside of the resort as well. So that's a very cool resort if you've ever been there.
It is extremely cool looking.
It looks like we don't have any more questions, and we've just about out of time. So I'm going to thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for being here.
We look
And
forward to
thank-
seeing you in the Crimson Moon fan group and the Black Hollow fan group. And don't forget our Black Hollow newsletter that just went out. I can't believe the Easter Bunny got beat up. That was hysterical. Had me laughing so hard. But yes, join both of our fan groups. We're always in them hanging out. So anytime you guys have questions or ideas or anything, definitely let us know.
Yeah.
All right.
And definitely stay safe during this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry.
Hi.
Just come close.
Hey, puppy.
Hi.
Stop. I think we are good. Oh, yeah. Deborah says have a good weekend.
You too, Deborah.
Hey, Deborah.
She's looking
All
forward
right,
to
Deborah.
All
Sorry.
right, bye.